Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the information about Penn-Dixie on our first segment. And now we're going to switch to one segment, not that I'm showing any partiality today, but one that's very dear to my heart, because we have with us Greg Lodinski, who is a board member for Preservation Buffalo Niagara, and he is also the coordinator of docent training. And I was a docent for Buffalo Tours, and so I'm so pleased that you're here, because I have been, like the kids say, Mom, you should be on the Buffalo Council, because you just love the city so much, and that's why I did it. But I don't want to talk about my experience with it, but it's dear to my heart because I can't do it any longer. But Greg, tell us all about Preservation Buffalo Niagara and Buffalo Tours. Preservation Buffalo Niagara is the go-to preservation organization in Western New York. It's a young organization that has done big things in the past few years, including bringing a national preservation conference to Buffalo that I think highlighted for Western New York and for the United States the treasures that we have in Western New York. That was in 2011, right? Yes, and it was a great success, and it opened the eyes not only to the visitors that came to Buffalo and experienced our beautiful architecture and parks, but also gave us a shot of self-esteem that sometimes we're lacking in Western New York. Can I share just one little story that happened the very last tour that I did? I had a couple with me that were from Chicago, and the wife said to me as we were approaching the old post office, she said, you know, I have to tell you, I have few regrets in life. She said, but I was recently on a tour in Chicago, and there was a young couple there, and I said, where are you from? And they said, Chicago. No, Buffalo. And she said, oh, you had to come to Chicago to see beautiful architecture. And she's taking my tour, and she said, oh, I wish I could get their names and call them back and tell them what a treasure Buffalo is. And that happens over and over again. Visitors from all over the world come to Buffalo, and their expectations are apparently low, and we quickly raise them with one tour. With 2 hours of a walking tour, they're suddenly amazed at the beauty and the architecture, the history that we have intact in Western New York and in Buffalo. I was amazed at how many people that would admit to living here all their life, working downtown, and didn't have a clue of the history of the buildings and what major names in architecture we had represented just in our downtown area. Tell us a little bit about the, I don't want to give preference to the Queen City, but it is such a beautiful tour. Give us a little bit of what places are on that tour that would interest people, that would make them. Well, the Queen City tour is our signature tour. We offer that each weekend throughout the season, including throughout November, and on Fridays and Saturday mornings. So check our website for that. But some of the sites that you'll see on that tour, Louis Sullivan, of course, with the Guarantee Building. Beautiful building. The Ellicott Square Building, of course. The old post office that you just referenced. Those are some things that we travel around and interact St. Paul's Cathedral and see, but perhaps don't realize the history and the grandeur of that architecture. Those are the best pieces of architecture from those particular architects throughout the world, and we have them here in downtown Buffalo. On a newer scale, perhaps some people don't realize that One M&T Plaza is considered one of the best examples of international style architecture in the country, and we have that as a headquarters of our M&T Bank. And if I remember my notes, was the architect not the same one that designed the World Trade Center? Yes, Yamasaki. Yamasaki. Around the same time. Very good. You were an excellent student. I remember a little bit. You've got to come back and be our tour docent again. I wish I would. I wish I could, but. So we have so much architecture, not only downtown, but throughout the city of Buffalo and indeed Western New York. And these tours continue throughout November, every weekend, and in fact the City Hall tour, another one of our signature tours, is an inside tour as well as an outside tour, and we really delve deep into the monumental scale of the Art Deco style as expressed with Buffalo City Hall. Tell people what they experience when they go to the top of City Hall and actually look out and see the way our city streets are have been mapped
Yes,
out?
well, Joseph Ellicott, of course,
Right.
designed the city of Buffalo, taking cues from Washington, D.C. His brother had worked with Pierre L'Enfant to design Washington, D.C. on the spoke and the hub and spoke pattern. Niagara Square is the hub, and the spokes are going out from that square, and that's what you see as you are standing at the observation deck of Buffalo City Hall.
Oh, it's breathtaking, it really is. I just happen to have a brochure.
Great.
And these darling little, we call them tour bucks.
Become a member of Preservation Buffalo Niagara, and you'll earn tour bucks, and you can take a tour for free.
Right.
And tours are going steady throughout fall, so make sure you see our website, preservationbuffaloniagara.org, buffalotours.org. Our brochures are throughout the area, but if you become a new member, you'll get those tour bucks and take a tour for free.
And they're worth their weight in gold, I will tell you that. They really will. You know what I really like to have you just mention very briefly, if we have time, the fact that Preservation Buffalo Niagara is really an advocacy unit to keep the history that we have here. And you're the watchdog kind of things that people are too quick to say knock it down. You're the ones that say no, keep it up, and here's why.
I think you've expressed our mission very well. Thank you for that. And yes, we are the organization that safeguards the treasures that we have. We've lost so much, but we have so much more that needs to be protected, and that's what Preservation
Don't you love that
Buffalo
word,
Niagara
treasures?
does. And that's what we live around.
I love the city. I just love the city, and I feel bad that people don't know the beauty and the wealth of this real treasure that we have right here in the city. And I think we've been our own worst enemies too in not promoting Buffalo the way we should.
I think that's turning around, Rosemary, and I think that organizations like Preservation Buffalo Niagara with the Buffalo Tours component are teaching and enhancing for us what we have here.
Well, Greg, I'm so happy that you were able to be here.
My pleasure.
And give us all this wonderful information on things. Don't forget, get your brochure. There's still things available, and there's always next year too. And if you're interested in becoming a docent, give Greg a call.
Exactly.
At 852-3300. I remember the number. Greg, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
And we will be back shortly for our third segment. Thank you.